A convoy of modern American-built Harley Davidson motorbikes is a novel sight on Cuba's roads. For most tourists, the dream is to cruise around in a classic old American car. But now there is another way to see the island, by joining a Harley Davidson tour. The man behind the operation and tour leader is Ernesto Guevara. He's the youngest son of the legendary Argentine revolutionary Ernesto Che Guevara, whose giant image looks down on Havana's Revolution Square.
Desde niño siempre me gustó todo lo que es la moto, los autos, la velocidad, la mecánica, todo eso venía junto, me gustaba todo junto. Me la ingenié con una amiga para tratar de hacer bueno, lo que si nos gustaba, tratar de hacerlo por lo menos realmente, llevarlo a un plano real. Y entonces, bueno, buscamos las motos y empezamos a hacer los tours acá en Cuba.
52-year-old Ernesto Guevara is a lawyer by training, but he gave that up to follow his true passion, motorbikes. His wife helps run the business, handles the bookings, and occasionally joins him on some of the tours. The business has been going for 5 years now, attracting biking enthusiasts from around the world, with increasing numbers coming from the United States. Ken Wallentine is a homicide detective from Utah who has his own Harley Davidson back home. How does he feel about being shown around Cuba by Che Guevara's son?
Unlike some people from my country, I'm very interested in other cultures and world history. No one can deny the place of Che Guevara in Latin American history. It's a fascinating story, and to see it unfold through the eyes now of Che's family and go to those places, it's an experience to not miss.
Daryl Jewett and Heather Harley are both from New Orleans and came to celebrate her birthday.
It's the best trip I've ever been on. Cuba is a wonderful, wonderful place. And we're here at a very special time. So we've really enjoyed it.
And I was going to say, we hope it stays opening and doesn't close again.
Right.
In this new-look private enterprise Cuba, there's now a Harley Davidson themed bar and restaurant in Havana. Ernesto Guevara's first Harley, a 1940s model, hangs on the wall, along with all sorts of memorabilia. But there's more to Cuba than Havana, and that's what Guevara aims to show his customers.
Lo primero que decir que me gustaría, es primero que la gente venga a ver mi país, conozca mi país, la cultura del país mío, la idiosincrasia, sus cosas buenas, sus cosas malas, sus playas maravillosas, sus montañas, pero sobre todo la gente.
The company offers 2 tours around Cuba, a 7-day and a 9-day option, with costs ranging from just over $3,000 to almost $6,000 per person.
Ernesto Guevara's company is called La Poderosa Tours. It's named after the motorbike his father rode as a young man on his epic journey through South America.
Before he knew where life would take him, before the world knew his name, Ernesto Che Guevara and his friend Alberto took the journey of their lives.
The journey was immortalized in the Oscar award-winning movie The Motorcycle Diaries, directed by Brazilian Walter Salles. Based on his memoirs, it follows the young Argentine medical student, Ernesto Che Guevara, who set off with a friend to see South America on a British-built Norton motorbike. They called it La Poderosa, the powerful one. It was only later that Che Guevara became a radical Marxist revolutionary and one of Fidel Castro's leading guerrilla commanders. After a brief spell in government in Cuba, Che Guevara set off once again, only to die in Bolivia trying to launch a similar revolution there. Che became an icon of the left, his image instantly recognizable around the world. His son also called Ernesto, was the youngest of 4 children by Che Guevara's second wife, Aleida Marsh. None of them have gone into politics. Ernesto Jr. was only 2 when his father died, and he doesn't remember him at all.
No. Yo soy del 65, mi padre murió en el 67. Yo tenía 2 años y de esos 2 años él estaba afuera, estaba en Bolivia cuando fue asesinado. Pero digamos que el recuerdo más lindo que tengo es el recuerdo que tienen todos los jóvenes cubanos de él. O sea, yo nací con la revolución y nací con ese sentimiento.
Was it difficult growing up as a son of Che Guevara, or was it a privilege?
Yo le digo que esto es como todo. El ser humano es muy complejo y hay personas que te señalan con el dedo para hacer un bien y hay otras personas que te señalan con el dedo para hacerte un mal, ¿no? Yo tengo las 2 versiones.
Ernesto Guevara's company, La Poderosa Tours, is registered in Uruguay, and they imported all these Harley Davidsons, sourcing them from anywhere but the United States.
With the US trade embargo still in force, the company could have bought Japanese or European touring bikes, but there is a long tradition of Harley Davidsons in Cuba. Today, Cuba's Harlistas, as they call themselves, meet regularly with their restored 1940s and 1950s motorbikes. Just as wealthy Cubans bought American cars before the revolution, they also bought Harley Davidsons.
La generación nuestra nació con la cultura Harley Davidson. Entonces, todos los jóvenes de la época mía, ¿no? Nacimos mirando los motores esos. Y para nosotros es como algo que está dentro de la cultura cubana.
Now, for the first time in more than half a century, Harley Davidsons are making a comeback in Cuba. It can be challenging at times, especially with the state of the roads with all their potholes. Kerry Becknell from Florida is the only female rider on this tour.
All my family rides.
What is it about motorbikes?
I just grew up with it.
And what about being on a tour with Che Guevara's son?
Ah, that's exciting. What an honor, very honored.
This tour is heading west to Pinar del Rio province, which grows the island's finest cigar tobacco. And there are stopovers at some of the farms to see how the process is done. Kerry Becknell has come to Cuba with a group of former US Special Forces soldiers who have their own bike club back home.
Well, I'm part of a motorcycle club, the Special Forces Brotherhood Motorcycle Club.
For Ryan Pearson, riding a Harley around Cuba is a dream come true.
Well, a good friend of mine invited me, gave me a call, and gave me about 24-hour warning saying, hey, how'd you like to go down to Cuba and ride motorcycles across the country? I said, okay. I've always wanted to have the chance to come and visit this country, and I mean, the people here are wonderful. It's been gorgeous, and I've truly enjoyed myself.
What is it about riding motorbikes?
It's just the freedom it gives you, the feeling. I mean, obviously, the adrenaline as well. It's just, compared to being sitting in a car, we call cars cages. And when you're in a cage, you just ride around, you feel stuck, it's just completely different. It just opens up and just makes you feel alive.
Biker and entrepreneur Ernesto Guevara has managed to turn his lifelong passion into a full-time business, offering a unique way for foreigners to discover Cuba in the 21st century.